Hello and welcome to Europhoria, the podcast all about the great glam and garish from Eurovision past. My name is Roland Bodnam and I am joined by a woman who has never been arrested, but if love was a crime, she'd definitely be a criminal. It's Isobel Chillman. Hey, Isobel.
I wondered where that was going then. I haven't ever been arrested, no.
I did wonder when I wrote that if I should check with you, but I assumed...
Almost once in Huddersfield Town Centre for drunk and disorderly.
Not for love.
Well, it was an argument with an ex-boyfriend.
So it kind of was.
Yeah, sort of was.
Lots of love. Wow. Police got involved and it was all dealt with.
There was just a stern telling off for swearing that loudly.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Back in the day when you got told off by police for swearing loudly.
Yeah.
They got more important things to be dealing with now. How are you doing, Isabel? All right?
Yeah, I'm very well. Thank you very much, Roland.
Good. Been a good week?
Yeah, it's been a lovely week. It's been a long week.
Yeah, it has been. It's been
knackered.
I know. Yeah, me too. It's been non-stop.
Sunday. It starts again tomorrow.
Starts all over again. Although I'm going to New York for the week,
you sod.
Which is why we're doing a back-to-back recording of 2 episodes. So if things get a little bit funny later on in next week's show, you'll know why, because we're on
drunk
double doses
we'll
of
be drunk.
of podcast beverages.
Yeah. And it also means that if when you're listening to this, you know, same rules apply as always. If you're listening to this and then you email us and then you listen to the next podcast and we haven't mentioned your email, it's because we haven't seen it, because we're time travelling.
Yeah. So let's get underway, Isobel, with our first drink of this double. Would you like a lovely glass of Albarino Rias Baixas from Spain?
Oh, do that again. Say it again.
Albarino Rias Baixas from Spain.
Great.
Yeah.
M&S should hire you.
It's not it's Spain. It's Sainsbury's.
It's a Spain one.
Spainbury's.
It's Spain. It's a Spain wine.
Let me open it.
Well, I just meant like...
Just doing voices.
Yeah,
I should, yeah.
Voices. Taste the difference, wine. Oh, he's splashing out today, isn't he?
It's been
got a fancy pizza too.
Fancy pizza, fancy wine, like you say.
And my favourite stuffed pepper things that I really like.
I'm not trying to win you over for points, but you know, if it translates, that's all right.
Helps.
You've been up to much? You've been busy with work, haven't you?
Really busy with work, yeah.
We're going to comedy tonight though, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, it's a good Sunday night event to have.
Yeah, some nice laughs to launch you into the rest of the week.
Exactly. Start the Monday on a hangover. That's what I say.
That's it. Okay, here you go. You ready?
Oh, that was lovely.
It was a very clean pop.
Very clean. Much better than last week.
Yeah, last week's was terrible. Right, here we go.
Yeah, it's good when the glug starts from within the bottle.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a large glass of wine. You've just
pretty much the
poured
whole
most
bottle
of the bottle into 2 glasses.
You've got a bit more than me, so there we go.
Cheers.
Cheers, the start of a Sunday.
Oh dear.
Well, there we go.
You know what I can give as good advice that I've learnt this weekend?
Go on.
If you live in England and you've got a Wilkinson's near you,
oh yeah,
and you've got a cat,
go
and buy their £2 catnip banana toy.
Oh shit.
Loved by cats.
They fucking love it.
Loved by all cats.
And they'll love you if you give it to them.
Yeah, my cat, my mate, Ellen's cat.
Yeah.
I got him one. Michael, lovely. I'm pretty sure Vic bought her cat one off the back of it as well.
Yeah.
I can't remember what she said now, but I'm pretty sure Bassett has one too.
Cats all over London are loving a banana toy from Wilkinson's.
Highly recommend it.
Very good. Shall we begin?
Eurovision news.
I have some news, Isobel, and the news is...
I'd like to drop my laptop.
Isabel's broken her laptop. If we don't have a story next week, that's because it's all gone. The news is Slovenia wins Eurovision Choir of the Year.
What, has it been and gone?
It's been and gone, mate. It's been and gone. It's happened.
Oh.
I know.
How did that happen?
It just happened. It's very, it's all sorts going on. It's very busy, Eurovision.
I'd have watched that.
I know. I don't know if it was on UK TV. It would have been online. They would have streamed it. But I can tell you, you don't need to watch it because... Well, you do, because it was probably great. But I will tell you, as I said, Slovenia have won. 9 countries took part. Estonia, Denmark, Belgium, Germany, Slovenia, Hungary, Austria, Latvia. And interestingly, operating for the first time separately from the UK, Wales.
Oh, of course they did though. The Welsh have lovely voices.
They have lovely voices. I'm wondering if that'll set a precedent though for Eurovision. If they can do Choir of the Year, why can't they do Eurovision on their own?
They haven't got their own broadcasting corporation.
But they did the choir.
But it must be different rules.
Or maybe it was for the BBC, but Wales were just doing it. Anyway, there were really interesting acts, actually. There was like some pop-infused sort of entries. Germany was quite pop-infused. The Hungarians decided to perform the song whilst holding half-drunk glasses of red wine, which made it look
Good
really...
for you, Hungary.
It made it look like they were sort of having a drink backstage and then realised they were on, and so just like ran on stage. So Latvia came third, Wales came second, good job, and as I say, Slovenia were the eventual winners with a very catchy number. So congratulations to all of them, and congratulations especially to Slovenia. And it was decided by like 3 people. Just went, that's the winner, that'll do.
Lovely.
Yeah, nice, quick, get it done with.
Nice and easy.
I'm not sure if they're bringing it back next year, but hopefully they are. It looked good fun.
Next time, probably, bark it a bit better. Watch it.
Yeah, I know. I saw one tweet from Jon like half an hour before it was starting. He was like, "Oh yeah, it was beginning." So yeah.
Oh dear.
On to any other business. We have an email. We actually have an email as well from Innes, but we're going to save that for next week, just so that we can spread the love a little bit. But we have an email here from Steve. Steve is one of our top fans who.
All right, Steve.
Top listeners who writes.
Top listener. Top guy.
Who writes blog about our shows every week. Thanks for that, Steve, as always. Steve writes, "Hi, Isobel and Roland. Loved hearing the story about the Wombles."
Oh, yeah.
Steve actually always thought that they were hedgehog-sized, same as me. So thanks for wombly educating me, he says.
Good. Glad to be of hand.
It was, yeah. You learned something in this podcast as well. It's not just us dicking about.
It is mostly that, yeah.
Although he does say that he will be able to sort of help us learn something new. And says that Count Duckula, he points out, and this makes me feel slightly less special that he writes about a blog about us, because he seems to write a blog about almost everything. Oh. He wrote a blog post about Count Duckula, and going through, because they're rebooting it apparently, and went through every single voice and who could do the reboot voice, and was saying it wasn't all voiced by one person, but David Jason was Count Duckula. So thanks for teaching us about the ways of Count Duckula. He did send a second email almost immediately afterwards and said, I forgot to share my Eurovision cats with you. They say hi to Pats.
Nice.
I'll show you quickly as well. That's Aggie hanging out listening to the podcast.
Oh, what a dude. That looks like a character out of Grange Hill.
Well, I was going to say it looks like a sort of like a
bad boy cat from Biker Grove.
Like a calendar picture, like a calendar girl.
Yeah. No, it's a bad boy. It's
it is. You're right.
Like
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Do you know what I mean?
Bad girl. And then this is Bingo. Apparently only just realising that the podcast is over.
Oh, it's a shocked kitty cat.
That is a shocked kitty cat. And lastly, this is Disco, the night before the podcast. The sooner you go to sleep in the morning, the sooner it's here. In a box.
Oh, sweetie in a box.
Disco in a box.
Oh.
I know...
3 cats. Good work, Steve.
I know. I know you want to see more of my cat escapades, which is what I was saying. He writes about everything. He has a blog about the ultimate guide to cat selfies as well. So,
wow, okay.
Well done, Steve, with all of your blogs and all of your emails to us and all of your cats. Thank you very much, Steve. We love seeing your cats. If you want to send pictures of cats, lessons about Count Duckula, anything about Eurovision as well, because it is a podcast about that.
Mainly the Eurovision. Great.
Then you can email us at europhoriapodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can reach us on Twitter at EurophoriaCast. And you can just say hi, just have a natter, send us a cat pic.
Am I going to need to get a new Twitter domain, Europhoria Cats?
Oh, wow.
Trademark, don't get it.
That's us.
That's us, shotgun.
Trademark. Yeah, maybe. That'd be great. And also, if you can rate, review and subscribe on iTunes, it's always very helpful for us. It helps us get up the charts. We are not the best at marketing ourselves and pushing this out in any way. So it's kind of just done through word of mouth and through your help. So obviously all help is very gratefully received.
Yeah, it is. And we love reading them as well.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we move on?
Yes, please. I want a story.
So it's time for the story. And actually, This story, Isobel, jumps back to a story we did 2 weeks ago. My story, actually.
I'm just going to eat some pizza while you talk.
Okay, if you hear crunching and munching, there you go. Oh, that was a crisp. Wow. Okay. I mean, do you want me to turn your mic down so you can eat away?
Nope.
I'm going to jump back slightly to my story I did 2 weeks ago. Remember, it was the Armenia-Azerbaijan story.
How could I forget?
Yeah. Because since then, well, actually, the day after we recorded that story, one very small detail, which we passed over quite quickly, has become a pretty huge topic in news and politics globally. So at the time, I was talking about the difficult relationship between Armenia and Azerbaijan, as I say. And Isobel, you explained how when Azerbaijan hosted the contest in 2012, the son-in-law of the Azerbaijani president performed a song as part of the interval act.
Yeah.
So guess who has become embroiled in a global political scandal?
No.
You got it. It's that interval act performer.
God.
So, here we go. Emin.
See, this is the thing. When I tell people about the podcast, that we do this podcast, and they go, are there enough things to talk about with Eurovision? They're constantly a new thing's happening.
Well, it just involves so many people that, like, it's a numbers game, right? Someone's going to be involved in a political scandal or something along the line.
Someone's got to fuck up or do something weird.
So, Emin Agalarov was born on the 12th of December 1979 in Baku, Azerbaijan.
Okay.
His father, Azerbaijani Russian oligarch Araz Agalarov, started his career selling bootlegged films and then moved his way up. So Araz moved the family with Emin to Russia when Emin was just 4 years old and founded a company called Crocus International, which was a company which runs shopping malls, luxury restaurants, concert halls, and a convention centre as well. So as seems to be the way with wealthy, the wealthiest of families, Emin, when he was young, was sent away to study. Just off you go, off you pop, while we get on with our lives.
It's lovely that rich people don't have to raise their own kids, isn't it?
So initially, Emin was sent.
Do you judge people who went to private school?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's that thing, isn't it? Of I mean, we've got the whole BBC pay scandal going on at the minute, and initially it was about the gender pay gap, which is obviously still very, very important. But then since then, some interesting things. Obviously, then there's the ethnic background,
Everyone's
and
white.
the race pay gap, and then interestingly, like over the last couple of days, I've seen like I think it was like 50 or more than 50% of the people in the top 10 highest paid BBC people are from private school, when really only like less than 10% of people in the UK go to private school. So it is like, sure, like if you went to private school and you do well, it could be on your own benefit, but I'm always going to slightly think it's because you went to private school. Like if everyone went to private school, I don't know if you'd be that great. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
there you go. Judgy, judgy,
well,
wedgy.
I think it. Yeah, I think.
I'm the same, mate.
Okay. So Emin was, as I say, sent initially to Europe, but then went to Marymount Manhattan College in New York. According to his website, Emin according to his own
website that he wrote.
Yeah, Emin graduated top of his class.
Yeah, of course he did.
And delivered a thesis on business management in the field of finance. I got no idea where his passion for business management and finance came from. Complete mystery where these children of rich parents get their interests from, isn't it?
I remember once speaking to someone who worked for the same company as me, not the current one we're at, but the previous one, who was buying a house, right? He must have been in, early 20s, was buying a flat.
Okay.
And I said, I was like, wow, that's amazing. Did your parents help you with that? And he was like, no, all my own money. And I was like, Christ, how do you manage to save up enough money to buy a house in London? Well, actually I invested a lot of my money when I was a child that I used to earn for my part-time job. I was like, you invested your money as a child. Yeah, I did. I just think it's, that's why I think it's ridiculous. People think that they can't afford to buy a house because I've managed to do it on my own. What? I was like, well, You haven't done it on your own, have you? Because your parents definitely did that for you.
Yeah, you can't invest as a child.
You didn't invest that money. Your dad, your parents invested that money. If what you're saying is true at all,
Yeah.
your parents invested that money for you. He was like, no. I asked my father to do it. I knew. And I was like, right. So you as a teenager, a young teenager, because you must have been doing this for what, from what age? Maybe 11, 12 for you to have this money.
Sure.
Enough money to buy a house. Put down a deposit in your early 20s in London.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I went to my father and I told him what to invest it in.
Took the initiative.
I was like, right.
Your father listened.
Of course, mate. Of course. I believe every word that's coming out of your mouth. Carry on.
So anyway, Emin was in New York studying.
Can you tell we're Labour voters?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say. It was also in New York where Emin developed his passion, not only for
money and business,
not only for business management in the field of finance,
obviously, that's my passion too,
but also for music. He learnt how to play the piano and the guitar after his mother bought him a cassette of Elvis recordings.
Yeah, I bet he was self-taught, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, no, definitely not. Again, which according to his website, his mother did not realise would change his life. Elvis there, ladies and gentlemen, Elvis Presley. So Emin started writing songs. He produced his first album in Russian at the age of just 17. I'm sure it was great. I'm sure it is great.
I hate all humans in the world. They're so awful.
No, you got to love it because you got to enjoy the awful people, right? You got to lean into it and enjoy the awful, awful people.
Christ.
It gets worse. I couldn't have chosen a better story to make Isobel angry than this one. So after completing high school, he moved back to Russia, where he managed somehow to find employment in his father's company.
Right, good.
I'm sure there was a rigorous vetting process, and
sure, he interviewed just like everyone else.
Yeah, he was the best person for the job, right?
And just that he just happened to be related.
Yeah.
It's not his fault. Don't judge him, mate.
No.
Don't judge him.
Yeah, stop judging. He currently holds a position of executive vice president. So
I mean, he's worked his way up that career ladder.
That company's really good at that upward progression, right? For everyone, right?
Everyone's moving on up.
You just fly up those ranks.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so while Emin was obviously very, very busy working hard within his father's company, he still somehow managed to find the time to produce an album a year,
right?
From 2006 to 2010.
Yeah.
I'm going to run through
as executive vice president of a huge company.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have the time to make an album a year?
Yeah, I know.
How old was he at this point? What, like 21?
Yeah, something like that, if that.
What a twat.
Okay, here we go. So the albums were called. And also, I'd just like to point out before I read them, they could either be albums by Emin or very easily the names of shitty aftershaves. Are you ready? So they were called Still, Incredible, Devotion, Wonder, and Obsession. Which I think is a perfume.
That is a perfume. Okay. Calvin Klein.
Yeah. Obsession was just...
What a loser. What a loser.
Obsession was just an album of Frank Sinatra and Elvis Presley covers. So I guess that year was a bit easier than the others. But an album a year isn't bad, especially when you're vice president of a company.
I'm proud of myself sometimes for putting a wash on. Yeah. On a day where I've got nothing else in my diary. Well done.
You did something positive, right?
You're executive VP, an album a year.
Yeah. Who
am I to judge?
It was also that during that time that Emin found and fell in love with Layla Aliyeva, who just happens to be daughter of the president of Azerbaijan.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there we go. So, so it's just coincidence. Anyway, after taking a year out in 2011, no doubt to focus on his career within his father's company, Emin came back fighting with a brand new album, perfectly lined up with the fact that Azerbaijan was hosting Eurovision Song Contest that year.
I just with these people and the Trumps and the Jared Kushners of this world, which is basically the American equivalent of this exact thing, except Kushner haven't made an album yet.
Yeah.
How do they think everyone's so stupid as to think that all of this just is coincidence, this sort of stuff?
I know.
Go and away! Go away!
Okay, so go away. That's Isabel's quote.
There's
there.
a great. I was going to show you this. I'll show you after this.
Yeah.
There's a great Funny or Die series of sketches called Ivanka and Jared,
Oh shit.
and it is unbelievable.
Is it like a Kardashian like parody, or is it?
No, it's just like sketches of them living their apparently living their lives, but it's just he is just the wettest, most grovelling kind of piece of dirt in the world.
I'm sure it's not
and
that far
always
from the
accidentally calls Trump daddy
Oh,
and stuff. And Ivanka is just, in control of everything and makes him like lick her shoes and stuff. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. We'll show you after
Probably
this.
close to the truth as well.
Very close.
So in the run-up to the contest, Emin released his first song from that new album that year, a song entitled Baby Get Higher, written by Mark Reed, Graham Stack, and the one and only David Snedden.
David Snedden.
Yeah, right.
From Fame Academy.
Season
Fame.
1. Winner of Fame Academy Season 1. And for those counting, this is actually the second time we've mentioned David Snedden on this podcast. I can't remember why. We were talking about Alex, she was in Fame Academy one year, and we ended up singing his song. Anyway, so yeah, David Snedden helped Emin write
Snedden?
the first track
mate?
off of Emin's album. He's got to be doing something.
Yeah, he's doing no else.
Yeah, exactly. So the following month, it was the song contest, and Emin was amazingly all set to perform his single "Never Enough" in the halftime show.
Great.
Speaking about performing at Eurovision,
So deserving.
Oh no, really
He
deserving.
really deserves that place.
We just got a sorry, I just got distracted. I just got a tweet from. I'll just find out their proper name. Oh God, he's not.
What?
Sorry, hang on. I just got distracted by a different tweet, and now I've got distracted by a second tweet. Steve, whose email we read earlier, just tweeted at us an article which seems to assert that Slavko is entering the UK X Factor this year. Slavko basically is currently in London, where the X Factor are filming their boot camp. And he has suggested that he has got through to that round at least. Lucy Jones, who's a Sun reporter, bumped into him along with the ESC Insights, Lisa Jane, at Wembley Arena this week and posted a picture of them all together. I think Slavko might be in the X Factor this year.
I mean, I'd watch the X Factor this year if that's the case. That'd get their viewings up.
I don't know if I've watched X Factor in ages, but I would watch Slavko.
No.
I'd vote for
I'd
Slavko.
watch it for Slavko.
And then someone who follows us on Twitter, We Are Eurovision, who is Ari, just tweeted us saying, only Europhoria could call my age group the worst and make me smile about it. I think we were talking about teenagers in general. But we did caveat it with, if you're a teenager and listening to this podcast, then you're doing all right. You're doing better than most. Sorry, I got distracted. Here we go. Let's go back to this
Where are we?
story. Oh yeah, so it was on the eve of Emin performing his big halftime show at Eurovision, as we say, well deserved. Emin explained that it is probably the biggest single opportunity to be able to perform as a guest. Definitely a guest, during the Eurovision in the country, which is your home country. Once in a lifetime, and it's great. I think I don't even understand what it will feel like, but I am very excited. So he was excited.
Great.
So the night itself came and Emin performed. I suppose we should take a look at what he actually sounded like on the night. Should we have a look now?
When I said that I need you now, well, I need you more than ever. I don't think I can live without us being in this world together. When the walls came crumbling down, I thought you said you'd leave me. Never, 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 never.
Oh, he's the worst. He's awful. He exudes stinky arrogance, but not in like the same way that Robin Bankston exuded fabulous arrogance in this year's Eurovision.
Yeah.
He just is just the worst. He looks so pleased with himself.
Yeah, I think that's it. And I know I
can
don't
sing.
Yeah, no, he can't sing at all, and it's weird. Like, well, Robin's one was like that sort of confidence, but directed at the camera, and you knew it was like that's the character he's playing.
Yeah, that was the character in the song.
Whereas this guy wasn't looking at the cameras. He just really he walks off stage and he's still that. Yeah,
he's really happy with himself.
And shit as well.
Oh,
like, he was not good.
Loser.
He was really not good. Okay, so now we've put ourselves through that. Isabel, it's time to get to the juicy bit.
Great gossip.
Okay, so, I mean, it's not gossip. So, while Emin was off writing music and doing whatever else he was doing, his father, Aras, was busy making connections high up with the Russian elite.
Great.
So Aras...
Always a sensible move.
Yeah, sensible move there. So Aras is actually credited with being a key player in sort of bringing, like, bling and glamour to Russia. It had quite a sort of depressing and downbeat, like... kind of feel to society after the fall of the Soviet states. He established a luxury footwear boutique, suburban estates, golf courses. He also controlled a series of important government infrastructure projects, including a $1.2 billion university campus and stadiums for the upcoming World Cup. In 2013, Russian President Vladimir Putin awarded Aras Alagarov a Medal of Honor, and the Russian government has been working closely with Aras on a wide range of infrastructure projects ever since. 1 year before this, actually, in 2012, Emin filmed a music video for his single called Amor. Now, in this single, and this is a quote...
That's another perfume name.
Amor, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He loves those perfume names. Now, in describing this music video, the news website Political says, Emin pursues Miss Universe 2012 down darkened streets with a flashlight.
What?
I mean, that's what it describes it as. I'm imagining, like, maybe the intention of Emin was like, oh, it's like a mystery woman who I'm trying to find, but it doesn't sound great, right?
No, that's harassment and...
Yeah,
and stalking.
Yeah, pursuit of Miss Universe 2012.
Oh,
yeah, okay. I mean, it doesn't get better. As it is, so they filmed this music video with Miss Universe 2012, and as is custom, representatives of Miss Universe came along to the filming to make sure everything was going smoothly. At the time, the owner of the Miss Universe business was the one and only current president of the United States, Donald Trump.
Good. And we know how he feels about young women's privacy within
an harassment.
These contests.
Yeah,
he's more than happy to barge on in and get changed. Great.
I feel like you should have some wine.
Oh.
Just bolster down. Here we go. So these representatives basically acted as an initial point of contact. But eventually, Trump himself came out and met with both Emin and Aras and came to the agreement with them to host Miss Universe 2013 in Russia.
It's got no links with Russia, though. No ties with Russia.
Nothing at all.
Nah.
When announcing this, Trump explained, Moscow right now in the world is a very, very important place. He said, we wanted Moscow all the way.
He's the...
Trump added of the Agalarovs, one of the great families in Russia is our partner in this endeavour. So clearly he thinks a lot of the Agalarovs.
Thinks a lot of their money.
Well, yeah. Their power. So a few weeks before the show, Miss Universe 2013 was due to begin and Trump was due to fly out there, he told an interviewer about his ambitions of meeting President Putin. He said, I know for a fact that he wants very much to come, but we'll have to see. We haven't heard yet, but we've invited him. Sadly for Trump, Putin didn't quite make it to the show, as he had scheduling conflicts. However, Trump did manage to find time to perform a cameo in one of Emin's music videos.
Good.
It was filmed during the Miss Universe contest, and it's on record as having made it a requirement of the Miss Universe entrants to be part of the video, but without getting any pay.
Excellent.
So, shall we have a look?
Wow.
So I'm going to jump to the end.
These men really care about women, don't they?
I'm going to jump to the end. I mean, it's awful. I'm going to jump to the end. because that's where Trump's cameo is. Let's have a little listen.
Wake him up right now. Emin, wake up. Come on. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, Emin? Emin, let's get with it. You're always late. You're just another pretty face. I'm really tired of you. You're fired.
There we go. That is Donald Trump in a music video.
So it's got a bad singer alongside a bad actor.
I mean, they're both bad men, right?
This is...
I know. I'm making you angry, but it's good that we're being informed about this stuff, though, right? We know, expose this stuff. So we're going to jump ahead, Isobel. We've established that Trump and the Alagorovs were so close. Were becoming close, at least. At one point, Trump even expressed interest in building a Trump Tower in Moscow with the Alagorovs company managing the project. And Aras was also very close with the Russian government, as we've already said. He built multiple infrastructure projects with them. So this takes us to June 3rd, 2016. Trump is deep in the middle of his campaign to run for president of the United States. At the time, we all were laughing, thinking, oh, what a silly man. And now he's president. At this time, on June 3rd, 2016...
I was wearing my Bernie for President t-shirt yesterday, and I feel like I should have worn it today.
I know, right? It would have been...
given me some power.
I know. At this time, one Rob Goldston, British Rob Goldston, who was Emin's publicist, or is Emin's publicist, sent an email to Donald Trump Jr.
God, that good old Donny Jr. He's a smart cookie, isn't he?
The email read, "Good morning. Emin just called and asked me to contact you with something very interesting. The Crown Prosecutor of Russia met with his father Aras this morning, and in their meeting offered to provide the Trump campaign with some official documents and information that would incriminate Hillary and her dealings with Russia and would be very useful to your father."
So I didn't realise that was connected to this.
Yes.
Oh my God.
The email continues, "This is obviously very high level and sensitive information, but is part of Russia and its government support for Mr. Trump, helped along by Aras and Emin. What do you think the best way to handle this information, and would you be able to speak to Emin about it directly?" This is Emin, who performed in Eurovision Halftime in 2012. "I can also send this information to your father," one Donald Trump, "via Rona, but it is ultra sensitive, so wanted to send it to you first." So these are the emails that Donald Trump Jr. Tweeted out and
idiot.
Is at the centre of this massive investigation now. So Donald Trump Jr.
I can't wait till he'll go to jail. I can't wait.
So Donald Trump Jr. replied, "Thanks, Rob. I appreciate that. I'm on the road at the moment, but perhaps I
just really casual. I'm afraid I haven't got my hands-free set with me, so I can't do a call right now.
I'm on the road at the moment, but perhaps I just speak to Emin first. Seems we have some time, and if that's what you say, I love it, especially later in the summer." So a meeting was then established and would be attended by Trump Jr. himself, two top campaign officials, a Russian lawyer, a Russian-American lobbyist, Rob Goldston himself, and a Galarov family representative, and it doesn't say who that is, and a translator. So the Galarovs have come under scrutiny since details of this have emerged. They, however, deny that they were working for the Russian government and deny that their intent was to try and meddle in US politics.
Whoa. We just have to rewind and reread that email.
That definitely was meddling, right?
They basically said, "Hey guys, we want to meddle. Can we meddle? Please let us meddle. We hate Hillary. We love Trump.
Yeah.
Let us do some meddling."
Well, the email,
it may as well say that.
I mean, the email says the sensitive information is part of Russia and its government support of Mr. Trump.
Good. Right. But it's not from the Russian government and they're not meddling in the election.
No.
Nope.
No.
You read that wrong, mate. Lost in translation. That's all it is.
Something, yeah,
Lost in
it's lost in translation.
Yeah.
They were just, it's just casual conversation.
Just having a chat.
As you have said, Isobel, all of this is currently being investigated, and I'm sure daily more and more of this is going to be dug up. So this is an ongoing story.
So just don't forget now, whenever you read about this, guys, remember that this is going on because of a Eurovision interval act.
Yeah, interval act. Who really kind of didn't deserve to be the interval act either, just because he was ex-son-in-law, they're divorced now, of Azerbaijani president at the time. It's fucking nuts, right? So it's just like it's celebrities, right? Yeah. Celebrities doing shit that they shouldn't be doing, and Putin.
Oh my God, just because they have money.
It's fucking nuts.
Insane.
And that's sort of where the story ends because it's ongoing, right? But it was like literally like
I had no clue that was linked to this.
Yeah, the day after we recorded that, I was like, what was it? It was like I think I saw like he was a European pop star, like one of the guys who was involved in the meeting. I was like, European pop star. I mean, he's probably involved in Eurovision, and then looked it up, and I was like, that's the guy who we were talking about, who did the interval act for Azerbaijan.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
Good work, mate.
Current Eurovision politics. I'm sure, again, we've said it, like...
We can just keep this as part of Eurovision news now.
Yeah.
Week by week,
keep you updated.
we find out new stuff until they all go to prison.
I hope they let me into New York next week, or let me out of New York next week.
Shit.
After anyway, so Isobel, let's move on from that. Let's find something a little bit happier to enjoy. It's time to move on to the Eurovision song attempt.
Attempt being the
it's always an attempt. It's always an attempt. It's not a Eurovision song until it's actually on Eurovision, which it will be one day. So actually, with this one, Isobel, I struck a little point of inspiration, and I've got more than just a song for you today. I've got alongside a song. I do have a song. Alongside the song, I have a whole concept for you. I have some staging. I'm not going to get up and dance. Don't worry.
I was going to say, if you're going to do a full dance routine,
no.
12 points instantly.
No, but I have a concept. I have a really strong concept that I want to describe to you before the song starts, so you have that in your mind.
Okay, I'm picturing it. My eyes are shut. Go.
So it's kind of like a sort of interesting, slightly sort of odd song about sort of, your world being turned upside down. So the way I want this song to be staged is, imagine a room on the stage. So it looks like a room, a bit like the Azerbaijan entry this year. Do you remember? Like she was in a room with walls. Yeah, skeletons. She had walls around her.
Horsehead man.
So imagine a room. It's got like tables, chairs, maybe a bed.
Yeah.
And there's a woman standing in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
But something's not quite right.
Oh.
What you don't see at home is that everything is on the ceiling, but the camera is flipped so that it looks like everything's upright, but things start looking a little bit odd as the thing goes along. So maybe like pour some water upside down, or like, throw some things and they go up rather than down. But her and I'm thinking this is a woman, I don't know why, a woman singing this song. Yeah. Her like hair and her dress have been like built so that it looks like it's like down. Yeah. And then like you just sort of mess around with that idea throughout. So while you've got that in your head, I want you to listen to this song called Strange Things.
What's this? I'm feeling pretty extraordinary. Things are changing and it's time to get on board already. Something's happened to my personal gravity. You make me fly whenever you decide to hang with me. Upside down, inside out. You make me shiver when I know that you're about. Downside up, outside in. There's no explaining how you put me in a spin. I'm walking on the ceiling. I can't explain where I went. I got this feeling. You're a wizard, a reality changer. You're my strange stranger. Oh no, my world world is just gone awful topsy-turvy. All the roads straight forward now are looking pretty curvy. Feels like something's really got control of me. You be my master, cause you know how to set my heart free. Inside out, upside down. You've got my feelings turning around and around. Outside in, downside up. Well, when we're mixing, you get all my thoughts mixed up. I'm walking on the ceiling. I can't explain where or when I got this feeling. You're a wizard, a reality changer. You're my strange, strange, strange. I'm walking on that ceiling. I can't explain where or when I got this feeling. You're a wizard, a reality changer. You're my strange, strange, strange stranger.
Strange, strange, stranger there. That is a song about falling head over heels, upside down, round and round. What did you think, Isobel?
It's so good.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I spent the entire
mate.
time imagining your little setting.
I know, right?
Yeah, that would be great.
It would be great. I thought either that, actually, or I thought, did you ever see, Inception? Have you seen Inception?
Yeah.
So there's a scene in that where there's like a massive fight in a corridor and the world is kind of like spinning upside down and then like it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt and he's like starts fighting on the ceiling and stuff like that. They did that with a huge rig that basically turned the whole set upside down with the camera. And so you could have that as well. So you can walk like all on the walls and everything like that. But if you have the camera like that, that would be great. But anyway, that's a song and it's a song and performance contest. And I feel like adding that little extra element there, is a good thing.
Massively so. I think if you hadn't have said that to me beforehand, I'd have liked it anyway.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
Although at one point you did ride up with up.
It's fine.
That might need changing. We can do better than that.
It's a sketch. It's a sketch.
We're better than Katy Perry. Come on now.
Okay.
But I'd have. It would have been a nice song.
Yeah.
But having that extra level in my head of imagining the piecing, the setting, the staging behind it, and how that would look on the Eurovision stage. I'm pretty excited about this.
Well, that's it. It's interesting because it definitely has the vibe of a song that you might not necessarily, you might listen to, a few times, but you're like, oh yeah, that song. But it would be the song that's like, oh, this is the upside down song, right?
Yeah.
Like the word would go about of like, oh, there's this song. It's like the upside down song where it's all upside down. It's really cool staging, whatever. Like that, I feel like has something to go for it.
Yeah, I'm into this one.
I like those sort of like slightly weird, like strange song where like strange things happen and it's all like weird and it's all. I mean, it's very much a sort of like gimmick, but it's a good.
I know
gimmick.
it's hugely gimmicky.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter.
But that's
Eurovision
okay.
is big and gimmicky.
Yeah.
A man duetted with himself this year.
And we loved it until we found out he was a massive
homophobe. There was yodeling rap.
Yeah, it's true.
Eurovision needs a gimmick.
If you can get that staging, I think that would push it up the charts.
I think it's not a winner.
No,
You'd be in the top 5.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, should we just do a score?
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so a score. Strange Things. Isobel, what would you give Strange Things? See the staging, listen to the song. What would you give it?
Nerf.
9 points. 9 points, 9 points. That's the second best this season.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Yeah, no, I'm happy with that.
You've done quite well recently since your horrible, what was it, Lady in Black or whatever.
2 weeks ago, yeah, that was a low point. I was I mean, I already told you I was very worried this week that I would have nothing to offer. I don't know what happens.
No,
what happens when we
great.
get to this recording and it's like when you haven't done your homework at school
and you suddenly realise you haven't got a song ready.
Well, it's not even suddenly. I would go into the recording going, maybe, I don't know what will happen. Like someone will send an email halfway through recording that they'll have a song and I'll be able to cover it with that.
You just try and blag it.
You'd be very disappointed in me, wouldn't you?
I mean, I couldn't really be, seeing as you've written now, 26 songs?
Something like that. I'd be disappointed in myself. Anyway, it hasn't happened yet.
You've basically made 2 albums.
That's almost as much as Emin has. So there we go, everyone. There we go. It's a 9. That's not bad.
Are you happy with 9?
I'm
Or
happy
did you think
with
it was
9.
going to be higher?
No. I had no idea. I know the song's a bit different, bit sort of unusual, and I didn't know how the staging thing would go down. But so I'm happy with 9. 9's good. Very happy. So there we go, everyone. If you would like to enter a song and even some staging, record your own music video. Why not? Please do. Oh fuck! I've forgotten a prize.
Yeah, I've forgotten one too. So we do have prizes, but we've forgotten prizes this week.
We'll add it on Twitter.
We will show you what the prizes are once we've bought the prizes. They're going to add it to the pot.
Email us at europhoriapodcast.com with anything.
Anything at all, really. But yeah, if you do have a song, if you've got a little story to tell us, if we've done something wrong or done something right, let us know.
Yes.
Either way.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
also, Daniela, you hadn't told us what shit in the blue locker means.
Oh no. No, yeah. Maybe we got it right. Maybe she was just like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't need to
Let us know, mate. I tweeted
Yeah.
a picture of your cat, but I didn't know what your Twitter handle was, and I didn't know what your cat was called either.
Oh.
But I've tweeted it. Lovely
Yep,
cat.
there we go.
Lovely.
Keep those cats coming in. So, Isobel, as we're going to end the podcast in the same way we end every single podcast.
Yes.
With the question today. Isobel, would you rather be Gina G and come second in Eurovision, but with a wonderful song, or Sandy Shaw and win Eurovision, but with Puppet on a String?
Oh, I mean, Gina G. Gina G was one of, I'm pretty sure that the Gina G year was the year that when we went to Butlins, and I screamed at my dad because the electricity went off. I've seen Gina G perform live at Butlins, in fact, many years later.
Where Ben saw up a gusset.
We all saw up a gusset. Yeah, it was wonderful. She is phenomenal and an absolute genuine icon in my life. Like, although definitely one-hit wonder, she is a one-hit wonder that has stayed with me throughout my life and will do forevermore. Whereas, Eurovision win, great.
But Puppet
to
on
be
a String.
Gina G.
Well, there we go,
Come
ladies and
on.
gentlemen. Isobel.
Love you, Gina.
Gina G. Isobel's coming for you.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. See you next week. Goodbye.